What's up, guys? Mr. Travis Pavlik here. My phone is going off. Absolute insanity is taking place. I wanted to do a quick video about Bitcoin, primarily for one of my friends. And I think I know what the problem is. It's basically having these expectations that are like, I'm going to trade Bitcoin. I'm going to sell at the exact right times. I'm going to, during the peaks, I'm going to buy every single dip perfectly. And I'm just going to compound money and just stack. Probably not going to work out that way, especially if you haven't been trading for a long time. You need to have kind of goals. Stick with your goals. It's okay to have a goal of like, hey, I believe in Bitcoin long term. I'm going to put X amount of money. This is my total liquid net worth. I want to put 30% of my liquid. If you're young, right? I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is one strategy. Another strategy is, hey, every time I get paid, I'm just going to dollar cost average in. I'm just going to put 10%. I'm going to tithe to Bitcoin. Tithe to the Bitcoin gods, okay? That's another strategy. There's a multitude of strategies. I'm going to try a trend following strategy, meaning that instead of having these giant drawdowns, the buy and hold like Warren Buffett, you're going to actually place active risk management on top, and your position size will fluctuate based on the volatility and what's going on. That's the third strategy. The fourth strategy would be, okay, so, we could go on and on and on. But it's extremely unhealthy for your mental health to have expectations not in line with kind of your strategy. You're not going to nail every bottom. And to be honest, not even the best traders in the world are going to do that either. This idea that, the big whales are just nailing every single top and bottom. No. So, that said, I'm going to go back. So this was the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF. I did a video here. I switched from Camtasia to Movavi. So I couldn't upload the .camrec file. Long story. Then I redid it in Movavi, and then I bought the thing. So the real entry price was here, 11.22. However, I kind of jumped the gun and I got some during before this bar closed. Maybe it was in here, 10.92. I just said, hey, look, this is an overreaction. It's a margin crush. This is the way these markets work. They get oversold. So I got in at 10.92. If you trust price action, why do I say 11.22 over 11.22 was, the ticket? Because I went over here. I went to the, let's see, look at a daily chart. I gotta go back. Okay. That's sent me to like a different area. Okay, look, on the daily chart, things weren't, great. You didn't have anything on the daily. I went to, the 4 hour. What happened on the 4 hour? The 4 hour, you saw some support probably in 916, but it never reached there. You saw some support here, 973. That's you bottom ticked it. If you got in there, let's see, what was the low? The low was 975? 975. So you didn't even get down to this low here. Okay. This low here, this, spike down again, was pretty consistent. So basically, there's no reason to think that you're going to be able to nail the low here. That's ridiculous. But psychologically, as soon as it recovered from 1,000, let's say, maybe you have to have this planned out ahead of time. Okay, if it goes to X, I'm going to add to my position. The only way you were able to do that is if you had a smaller position size. You didn't have all your chips in. When you had all your chips in, you're freaking out. If you really had your chips in on margin, you were probably really freaking out when it, went from 13. I mean, this doesn't even really count. get this stuff out of here. 1350, let's call it. Let's say 1330 because I don't remember it trading 1350 for any sustainable amount of time. 1330 down to 975. That's a big move in a short amount of time. You were shitting your britches. You got liquidated off the lows. That's how Bitcoin, being a new market, works. Okay, so don't do that. Trade lighter than you have to. Then we went up to like 1220 and I'm like, yay, hooray, we're gonna go back to the highs. Everything's great. 1250, it just shits the bed. Okay. And we went all the way down to 950, and now we're back to kind of this 1090 where I got in. So this new position, which is smaller than the older position was way back. This is how you make money. You buy right and sit tight. Okay, I think it was in here. I gotta go to a different chart. Okay, so it was around 600. So I saw this. I think I got some here, and I might have added here, but basically 400 and right here was a good one. So 440 or above this little high, 470, or you could have gotten in here at 500. So you're sitting on a double here. And you're not freaking out. You're not, when you have these huge monthly, weekly, yearly type patterns, you're not freaking out. I'm confident in Bitcoin. Do I know it's going to go to 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever? Hell no. I do not know. Is it still a pretty decent bet to buy coins for 1,000, even if they go to zero or I get hacked or, I get them jacked from me? But it's got some probability that it goes to 3,000 and 5,000. That's still a good trade. Risk to reward. Optionality. Unlimited upside, technically. Limited downside. You can only go to zero. But as far as freaking out and looking at, I'm sure a lot of guys are just like looking at the frickin' 1 minute bars here like, oh my God, we're down $10 off the highs. Like, that's not a good way to trade. For me personally, for Bitcoin, the markets, it's just something that I'm not going to do right now. If you have an active strategy, good, props to you. But I prefer to trade it on a swing basis because that's how I capture a lot of money. And I don't have to sit here and freak out and day trade. Don't day trade Bitcoin unless you have a strategy that works, that you've back tested. And even if you've back tested it, there's a ton of things that you can't do because it's only one market and it's just been going straight up. So a lot of strategies that work with back testing on Bitcoin are not going to work because it's only had one basic market type. That being said, my name is Travis Pavlik. Hopefully you got something out of this. Holy crap, we're going to 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Bitcoin, nothing to worry about here. Off the highs. But, 2017, a lot of volatility, a lot of craziness. We could, go all the way down to, 750 again. So keep that in mind. I'm looking for new highs. I'm not in love with this pattern here, but I think the way to trade Bitcoin is with like a long-term trend following type strategy, and not to sit there and look at the super small time frame, the 1 minute chart, the 15-minute chart, etc. Peace out. Subscribe below.